being authentic. I have a hard time being a part of something, just kinda. I gotta be all the way in.
I watched that when you announced the fight, and
Right.
and at the time I was thinking, well, this guy has, 4 million people that are watching him. That's more than a lot of sort of musicians and people on TV. And the world's different to probably what it was 10 years ago. So you got a huge following, you got a huge influence, and I guess you didn't. It weren't just that you had some mates turning up at a boxing fight and watching it. You had millions of people following you. So I guess, what was it like mentally to basically put yourself on the line and risk losing that fight, because it could have happened?
It could have happened.
And how that would have affected everything that you stood for. What were you thinking?
I always say that I look forward to, I like going around a corner seeing what's there. Like, you don't know what's there, but let's go. I didn't know what would have happened, win or lose, right? And yeah, the idea of losing is terrifying, but forget about losing. In boxing, the way you lose is going to be painful, right? So, it was a huge risk, but the thing is, I gave my word to my son that I was going to do it. So I can't, it's a no. When I give my word, especially to my kids, I'm there, I'm done, I'm doing it. So, and and I didn't talk about it throughout the preparation for the fight, but I had many injuries because my body wasn't used to those movements anymore, right? So I was injuring myself left and right. I couldn't throw a jab most of the fight, most of the training for the fight, right? Because I had such bad tendonitis in my elbow. So, but I was like, you know what? I said I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And I didn't want to tell certain people who really care about me, because they would have did everything they could to stop me from doing it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I just kept it to myself, and like, whatever happens, happens. So I'm gonna take it back to our hunter-gatherer days or whatever. So we used to have to go out when we were hungry, and if we're not foraging, we're tracking our prey, stalking it, tracking it, capturing it, and bringing it back. It's dangerous, right? We don't have that anymore, right? So it's like, we don't have all of those dangers in our life anymore. So, but how do we articulate that energy that we just naturally have? Here it is, this is a way for me, right? So, but not only that, that was part of it. I feel like something I felt like I needed to do. That was one thing. Another thing is, I was in the process of starting a promotion company in boxing and possibly managing a couple boxers. Like, I know a lot of guys in the sport. And I was doing it for training, just to, get myself in shape. And I have a hard time. Like, one thing I hate is people like in gyms that look like a world beater on a heavy bag. I'm like, bro, are you fighting anybody? Like, that's cool, but not. And it's okay if you just want to do that to work out. But there's guys that really carry this tough guy thing because they can beat a bag up. So I didn't want to appear to be that guy. That was another thing.
So being authentic.
Being authentic. I have a hard time being a part of something, just kinda. I got to be all the way in. And I absolutely love boxing, and it killed me when I stopped boxing back in 2000. I couldn't watch boxing for like 3 years, right? Because it would be people I knew that was making it, and I was just like, man, so mad at myself. So it was something that I felt like I needed to do. I mean, my book of life ain't over yet, but that chapter needs to be there. I'm literally writing history for myself and my family, and I want to do things to make my kids proud, right? And to make my grandkids say, yo, my granddad was cool, look at this. You know what I'm saying? So, it was something I felt like I needed to do. And also teaching my sons accountability, character, and when you say you're gonna do something, you do it,
yeah.
And hard work, showing them hard work. Like, your dad don't have to do this. I don't have to get out of my nice California king-size bed and take off my robe and go out in the cold and jog. I don't have to do this. So, but I wanted to show them, because they're born into, I guess, privilege. I wasn't. So it's a certain type of grittiness that they'd never experienced. So I got to teach them that, you know what I mean? And they seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
So
you're being a role model, I guess.
Yeah,
at the same time.
And also for people who look up to me out, on social media or whatever, because, these people allow me to afford a decent life. So I feel it's best for me to always give them content or information that's beneficial to them. Yeah. So me being a man of my word, no matter how scary it is, I think it's beneficial to these guys versus me just giving a bunch of rhetoric, just talking and sounding good and motivating them with words. It's better to motivate people with action. I know I learn from watching people. I hear stuff all the time. I'm just always like, okay, what do you do though? You know, like there's certain famous motivational speakers that I'm like, yeah, it sounds amazing, but what did he do before? Like, what does he do? You know, oh, he just talks. Like, okay, that's cool. It's you know. So I just always want to be that authentic guy and that, you know, be able to give real, oh, he said this and the third. What does he do? Okay, he does this and this and this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, no, I think that's very sort of brave, to be honest, and courageous to, when you're in that position, you don't really need to do it because it wasn't like you were trying to build a following.
Right.
You're kind of already there, and I suppose you had more to lose than you had to gain in that situation.
Yeah.